And some of the ones that I brought in on the CD today, the one that's up there now is a Canadian goose with her baby. She made that nest in the fall, and I followed her all the way through the spring when the babies hatched, and she had 7 altogether. And
wow.
it was just like when we have a new baby, you know, and all the neighbors have to come over and see the new babies. The other geese and the ducks in the background of that photo kept coming by. I watched them for hours that day that the babies started to hatch.
Just to check it out.
That's right. They'd come over and look at the babies and move on, and pretty soon somebody else would come up and look in and then move
how
on.
fun.
Yep.
Oh, that's great.
They were wonderful.
Aren't the geese in the background pretty rare too?
The 2 on the right in the background are lesser white-fronted geese, and they are fairly rare to see here in Oregon, so it was a nice treat to get them in the background. And I actually have another photo of the greater and lesser white-fronted geese on this disc as well. So
Okay.
see them when they come up.
Sure. We'll get to those, I'm sure.
It is fun to watch the birds. We have 3 different national wildlife reserves here, just in the Willamette Valley, within an hour and a half drive. The Basket Slough, and then the William Fenley that's down south a little bit more. And what's the
Ankeny.
The Ankeny.
Well, where's that?
Ankeny
It's
get the
about
William Fenley
2
and Ankeny.
miles, I guess, west of Monmouth.
Oh, okay, out there.
Independence, Monmouth.
Isn't there something kind of like in Sherwood or Tigard or something?
Oh yes, there's one
Yeah.
there too.
I
know that
always
one's
drive by and see the birds.
Tualatin.
Yeah.
Tualatin
that one's
National
on
Wildlife Reserve.
Ankeny right there. That
Okay.
that photo was from.
Yeah, and these are the greater and lesser white-fronted Canadian geese as they were migrating through this last fall. There was about 30 of them in this group, and like I said, they're fairly rare to get to see here in Oregon. They're usually here for a short time as they move through, and we just happen to be there. Well, we happen to be there quite often, but we got to see them that day.
Oh,
and got
that's
to take
great.
some pictures.
Okay, and so this has obviously evolved into a hobby that the 2 of you do together. Go out for drives. Out
Oh
the
yeah, I do
country
the
and-
driving and carry all the equipment.
And she's with the
I'm
camera out the
grunt
window.
mode.
Stop the car.
Yeah, exactly. That's what the lighthouse thing was like. Slam on the brake. I go, they want us out of here in 5 minutes. I want the picture. So she's taking that picture out of the top of the truck.
Oh, how fun.
so-
Out the,
Okay.
And these are the brown pelicans. This one's
Oh.
down in Newport. They're
Okay.
also on the federal endangered threatened species list for the state of Oregon. There was quite a flight of them that came through down in Newport in the spring. Probably about 15 of them altogether, about the same time that the common murres and cormorants were nesting down there in Newport, just outside of the lighthouse area. And they're on the endangered and threatened species list because of their food sources and contamination in their food sources, which mainly are the sardines and smaller fishes. And
Oh.
so they had a huge die-off in 2008, and that's when they made it onto the federal endangered species list. And
There's a little owl.
this is, of course, the northern spotted owl. And she's taken care of up in Portland at the Audubon Society of Portland. She was a rescue bird. She was injured, and so they took her in, and she has a permanent home there, and I would recommend everybody go and visit. And they are based solely on donations. So go spend some time, get to know the birds. They have resident birds there, and you get to some fascinating information and some up-close work with some pretty rare birds. Oh, and this is Mama and Daddy and 14 babies. I think that they
Oh my
adopted a
gosh.
few along the way.
Okay.
Every now and then when a pair dies or something happens to them, the other parents will step up and take in the babies. And so this was quite a group.
Wow.
Yeah, they were fun to watch, and they sure protect every one of them. You can see the different ages of some of the birds. There's some pretty small ones and some that are a little more mature, so I'm pretty sure that those were adopted. I've never seen a nest with 14 eggs either, so
No doubt. Yeah, that's a lot.
that's a lot of work for one mom and dad. But when they get up onto the bank, you'll watch them, really taking care of the birds and making sure there's nobody nearby, and they'll shoo you off in a hurry.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
And this
Okay.
is the Finder's blue butterfly that I referenced earlier. And this photo has been entered into National Geographic. It has quite a good rating. I don't know if it's going to be printed or not. I'm keeping my fingers crossed and hopes high, but it does have some really nice ratings for them. And
Wow. That's great.
Water and Soil Conservation District here in Yamhill County has also printed it, published it, and it's one of the nicer photos. They're hard to catch, and it just happened to pose for me that day.
That's great.
Yeah.
So what time of year did you take that photo?
It would have been in May.
In the spring? sort
Right.
of,
Yeah.
okay.
Their lifespan is really short. Basically 3 months from the time that they come out of the cocoon and they feed and turn into their butterflies and then go and they lay eggs and then they die. So their life cycle is very short as a
Wow.
butterfly.
That's amazing. I mean, that you've been able to go out and get as many of the photos as you have of
Yeah.
these endangered plants and wildlife. Now, did you say that you also have some footage of maybe some of your work that's from the gallery?
There is.
I don't know what's on there, as I haven't seen
Okay.
that, but.
Okay. Well, I think
Oh,
this
here we
might be
go.
it right here.
This is the inside room of the gallery,
This
and
is nice.
thank you. There's lots of neat work in there, like the handbags that you see up on the shelves there. Those are made from old hard book covers, and there's some of my photography that you'll see on the walls there. And that's over in the Columbia River Gorge, one of my favorite places in the state. It's so beautiful over there. Any time of year, you're going to see something different,
sure.
and the colors are just gorgeous. This is one of Nazavad's.
That piece there is called Call 'em Home, and it's a very loud bell.
It's beautiful.
When you ring it, it's very loud. It's a great front porch piece for, calling somebody in for dinner or
Sure.
you're out in
whole
the shop and you
neighborhood.
need some assistance, from
Yeah.
the wife. You just ring it and she's going to come running.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
There you go. That might even work.
This is the Hesida Headlight. The Hesida Headlight House down in Yachats closed at the end of July of this year, and they let me come in and do photos of their pre-remodel. And
Oh.
so some great architectural work in that I was able to do in there, and that's the inside of the light itself. It's a first edition Fresnel lens, which we only have a couple of left here in Oregon. Parts were shipped over from Italy and put together on site at the lighthouse.
There's some more of your
Quite
work.
a feat.
That's all your work.
This is all Nazavad's work
Yeah,
in the
this is
front.
some of my smaller sculptures. That's another smaller piece there. Yeah, that's
That's
some
another
photos in the
smaller
background in front of one. One piece in the front. That piece there by the chair, it's called Eye of the Sun. It actually has an eye into the metal. It's kind of in there, kind of hidden. And this one I'll be modifying a little bit. I got a piece of turquoise stone I'm having cut that I can actually put in the center because it really brought out the
Oh, sure.
coloring
yeah.
in the piece by laying it on her.
Is that kind of a new thing for you, doing maybe the stones in the metal?
Yeah, I had some a gallery on the coast that I'm in. Actually, they have a rock mine, and they've asked me to put some stone in some of my work. So it's kind of there's always something there that somebody will bring up. Try this, try that, and it's like, you know what? I'm busy enough. I don't really need to go that direction. But
On the other
sometimes you just
hand-
pick something up and you look,
Sure.
well, hey, and you sit it there, and it's just like, wow.
It feels like it works.
You can feel it. You can sense it. It feels good and it looks good. Just makes it pop.
So if Anne's sort of inspiration is in nature, what is your inspiration?
Well, I go off everything around me, daily life, things that happen, people I talk to. It's kind of the quantum physics things. The book, The Secret. The movie, What the Bleep Do You Know? I mean, I've watched all that stuff. I've read the book. I've kind of studied a little bit into it, and I've kind of learned how that works. So I could be standing in my studio and working on something, and something will come to my head, and I'll think, wow, okay, so that would be cool. So I might walk over and put a piece of metal on the floor, one piece, and it'll just, over 2-3 months, maybe 6 months, I'll just kind of keep adding to it. So it's basically, somebody might have had that thought, I'm picking up on it and receiving it, and so I just have to kind of lay pieces and parts there till it feels like it's right and it's coming together.
Like it kind of develops its own intelligence.
It does. It kind of develops on its own, and then now my job is exposure, exposure, exposure. I got to get it out there in different parts of the world to show it, and hopefully somebody is going to walk by and say, "Hey, there it is. That's my piece."
I've noticed a lot of Native American stuff in your work.
Yeah, that does.
And I need to just quickly, if I might.
Sure, absolutely.
There you saw a saddle lamp in here. Well, that's one of my cousins who lives on the reservation in Fort Yates. He hand makes those saddle lamps
Oh, wow.
from cowhide. It's a real saddle, miniature, but And that's what made me think that we've got to mention Joe.
So now wait, are these are actual saddles that he's repurposing, or he makes the saddles specifically to turn into lamps?
He makes the saddles specifically to turn into lamps.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Does
yeah.
he also make saddles for?
He also does a lot of different leather working. He actually was a rodeo rider when he was in high school, and he's supposed to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, the Rodeo Hall of Fame. But he raises bucking horses. He's done a lot of different stuff. But yeah, he's looking to start building these on wooden horses. Is that what he talked? Yeah. So.
Oh wow.
And you know, a lot of Navasta's work is like the one you did on wood with the Indian chief and the knives.
Yeah, that was a lot of
I
found
love
objects.
that piece. That is a neat piece, and I didn't even realize that they were made out of knives. I thought, wow, he
When
really
you,
did
yeah,
a
if you
good
look
job.
at it, it looks like an Indian with a headdress, but if you really look at it, it's saw blade, it's knife blades, it's a little
Oh.
gear, piece of chain. There's a couple stainless steel tubes with like arrowheads on the ends of them. Yeah,
It's a beautiful piece.
It's all found objects, but it's, again, that goes back to laying stuff out.
He has an
Yeah.
amazing abstract mind that's always
Make it
working. It's
come
amazing to go out to his studio too and see the pieces that he's working on and what he has in works, and well, all over in there. He has just the most amazing things. It's like a treasure hunt to go out and see what all he has going on in there.
Have you ever done any photography of his work?
Just the pieces that I have in the studio.
I mean, that's kind of interesting too, you know, just all the different like angles and shadows, I guess, that you could get from
It is.
that.
Yeah, it is. And I do
And
a
they
lot
hold
of
still.
That's right. And I do a lot of product photography, which is nice too. They're in the studio.
Okay.
And so all the artists who bring their work in, I do their pieces for them, keep them on CD so that they have nice things to present on websites and that sort of thing.
Are you going to mention Jerry at all?
Oh, Jerry Sticka, I apologize. Do we have another minute?
Sure, you bet.
He's another one of our artists, and he has a huge show right now over in Hillsborough, so he doesn't have a lot of pieces in the gallery right now. He's a nature wildlife painter, oil on canvas, and does carvings. His carvings are so lifelike. We have most people think that they're taxidermied when they see them, but he
Wow.
hand carves and paints them.
Okay.
Beautiful, beautiful work. And so if you anybody gets a chance, his work is going to be up for the next month over at the Walters Cultural Center over in Forest Grove, and I would highly recommend going and seeing his work. He's absolutely amazing, and when he finishes up his show at the end of November, a lot of his works will come back into the gallery.
The pieces you saw over the fireplace are his in our gallery right now.
Now, do you have anything planned special over the holiday season for your gallery?
Every day is special at our gallery.
Every day is special. I knew that. I almost hesitated to ask the question, but I thought I'd ask.
Well, we do have a promotion going on now through the end of the month, and with any purchase of art or wine in the gallery, you're entered into a drawing. One person's going to get a family portrait done in the studio. It's a $240
Oh.
value. So when you come in, make sure you get a slip to fill out.
Nice.
there's a
Okay.
drawing.
So with the purchase, you're entered to win a portrait.
Right.
That's pretty amazing, I think.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so it sounds like your gallery is fairly new, but very ambitious. Obviously, you've got a lot going on with the ecology theme and the repurposed theme, and a lot of experienced artists are finding a new home and a new place to display their work. And then, of course, there's yours and my favorite part of the whole thing, which is the wine tasting.
Absolutely.
You have the tough job, don't you?
Oh, I do, but I love it.
Yeah, somebody has got to do that.
Yes.
Somebody has got to, just take it down. So I really want to thank all of you for being here today, and
Thank you.
I've learned a lot. I think it's great.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
So
It was
yeah,
a pleasure to be
yeah,
here.
for sure. Can't wait to come out and visit the gallery.
Please.